Hey everybody, and welcome to the Imagineers Disney Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with my co-host Susie. How you
Hi,
doing,
everyone.
Susie?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I'm really excited about this episode. So
Me too. We're still recording in summer, but it's about one of my favorite times of year, which is right around the corner. For most people, not for Florida. We get about 2 days of this season, but I'm excited.
I cannot believe we are already to this point in the year. Like, it just
I know,
seems like
it's
we just had this.
Flying by. Yeah.
Okay,
Crazy.
so to not keep you in the dark any longer, today's episode is going to be about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Yay!
Yay!
So if
Longest name ever.
if you were not familiar, yes, and a lot of people actually abbreviate it MNSSHP, and that's not even harder to do. So, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So, if you are unfamiliar with what this is an event that this year actually runs on select nights from August 17th all the way through October 31st. And basically, it is Disney's Halloween party in the Magic Kingdom. That's where it takes place. It starts at 7 o'clock in the evening and runs until midnight.
Even if you're not going, this is another one of those things. I think we talked about it in one of our first episodes. It's always good to look ahead and see what events are going on during your trip. So like Matt said, this is a separate event. So you want to be aware of like what you're planning. You may not be able to stay at Magic Kingdom until, 10 o'clock for fireworks and everything, because there may be a Halloween party that night. So always good to look ahead at the calendar.
Yep. And that is an excellent point. Even if you don't plan to go to the Halloween party, it's always good to look at your calendar and just see, because you don't want to be caught by surprise and plan a huge day in Magic Kingdom and then realize that you have to be out by 7 p.m. So that's no fun. So for people not attending the party, I have some clients that are going to be going during the Halloween party times, and we strategically planned the Magic Kingdom day to not fall on the Halloween party days. So
smart.
So yep, August 17th through October 31st. The tickets for adults that'd be ages 10 and up, start at $79, and then ages 3 to 9 are starting at $74. And it goes all the way up to the most expensive night, which is October 31st. That is probably going to be the busiest night. And tickets for ages 10 and up are $125. And then tickets for ages 3 to 9 are $120. There are also pass holder discounts. So if you're interested in those, we can also help you with that. But you can get a little bit more of a discount if you are a Disney annual pass holder. You can actually get an advance purchase discount of $10. And the only exception for that is the party on the 31st, where the price is the day of price the entire time. So you can actually save a little bit of money by booking those in advance, but you always still have the option of doing it the day of when you arrive to Disney. So getting into the event itself, there's so many highlights. This thing is so jam-packed full of fun things to do for both kids and adults. So like we said, the party officially starts at 7 o'clock, but guests may begin to enter the park at 4 p.m. And so you can come up to the gate, you go through, they start scanning the confirmations. If you have it linked to your account, you just scan your Magic Band, and then they will actually give you a wristband. So if you were wondering if you could, kind of sneak in and hang out in the park for the entire night, if they don't see the wristband on your wrist, they are going to kindly ask you to leave the park. So
don't try to hide in the bathroom and be like, oh, it fell off. Nice try.
So let's hit a few of the things that you can take part of or participate in some instances for the party. And the first one is costumes. So we're going to get the tough stuff out of the way. So we'll get all of there are some rules that you have to abide by. Kids and adults can dress up.
Yay.
So, I mean, the ideas are endless. Dress up as your favorite Disney character. There are some stipulations and rules for that. Masks are only for kids, and they can't be full face masks. So you can't, waltz in with your full head Incredible Hulk mask or something like that. So you need to be able to see the eyes and
maybe like a Mr. Incredible mask.
Yes, that is a
right across your face.
That is a good example of what you can do. In fact, I saw a group last year that they were the Incredibles. Looked awesome. So
Cute.
that's a good idea. My wife and I actually went last year, and I dressed up as one of the stretching portraits from the Haunted Mansion. I was the guy in the tuxedo and the red and white boxer shorts. I wasn't wearing boxer shorts. They were just shorts that were striped.
Painted?
No, they were striped.
Okay.
It's very difficult to find, but I found them. And then he's standing on the barrel of TNT.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. That one got a lot of laughs. And then my wife, who was actually pregnant at the time, dressed up as Kanga from Winnie the Pooh and had a stuffed Roo in a pouch. So
love it.
Yep. So great ideas like that. Really go all out.
Yeah, so you went with your family, and obviously it's called the Not So Scary Halloween Party. We've talked about it's for kids and adults, but it is a family-friendly event. So also costumes need to be
family friendly. Yes.
Appropriate.
So yeah, please don't come in with like Freddy Krueger and blood all over it or something. So yeah, those aren't going to fly. So keep it family friendly. Keep it fun for everyone. Also, no prop weapons that resemble actual weapons are going to be allowed. So if it looks like it's real, they're going to ask you to remove it, take it back to your car. When you're picking out your costume, make sure that no sharp objects are protruding from the costume. Make sure, because some costumes, I know like a lot of cosplay costumes can have some pointed edges.
Yeah.
Just nothing that can poke any guest and cause harm.
This next one's big.
The next one's big. So I'm sure that a lot of your costumes are going to be awesome, and a lot of people are going to want to take pictures. Make sure that you do not pose with other people or sign autographs, especially if you're dressing up as a Disney character that is in the park. So if you're dressed up as Belle and you look really great, don't pose for photos and sign autographs as Belle.
That's a rule like all the time. So you also have to be careful with that. Like if you come in after like a Disney run, or if you're Dapper Daying, just don't sign autographs. Like it's pretty easy not to do.
Yeah.
So
then a couple other things. Make sure that your costumes are not dragging the ground. So that is really kind of aimed at the ladies who have the princess dresses, the full princess gowns. Make sure those don't drag the ground. That is for the safety of you and others.
I didn't even think also like rides. Like you don't want to get it stuck in a door.
Right. Mm-hmm.
On a ride, or stuck in something. It could be a disaster.
Speaking of getting things stuck in,
right?
No capes. No
capes.
Well, actually, you can do some
sort
capes.
Of capes.
Half capes. Make sure if you do have a cape that it does not come below the waist, because you do not want it to get caught on things or stepped on. And so that's all the not fun stuff with the costumes.
So once you arrive in your costume that meets all of the requirements, what are we going to see? A lot of things to do. Where do we kind of start off?
So when you come in, the first thing that you're going to get is your trick-or-treat bag. So, and one of my tips is to actually bring your own. They do provide you a bag. It's not that big, so you can bring your own bag and then throw all the candy that you want in it. So, yes, for the parents out there that's bringing kids and this is your first time to the event, this is a perfect way to safely trick or treat. And, I hate that the world has come to this where, I mean,
Oh my goodness.
I remember growing up and just being able to trick or treat in our neighborhood and there wasn't any problems.
Same.
But,
I was probably in like junior high before someone brought up the idea that someone could like, be putting stuff in candy. And I was like, wait, what? Like, who does that? And you're right. Disney is such a safe environment, and everything that they've got is going through their, cast members' hands, and everything's as it should be. And there's also some special treats we'll get to a little bit later.
yeah, so, yeah, it's just a really safe way, a safe environment for your kids to be able to trick or treat, or adults too. Adults are more than welcome to trick or treat as well. And so there are going to be locations throughout the Magic Kingdom along the treat trail that you can grab pre-packaged bags of candy, and they are the same at every location. So you're going to have like, Nestle Crunch, they're like the little fun size candies.
Yeah.
Like Hershey's and Baby Ruths and stuff like that. So they're going to be around the attractions. And actually, my favorite one to go through is over at the Tiki Room.
Is that the only way they can get people into the Tiki Room?
No.
Is by coaxing them with candy?
The Tiki Room is a wonderful attraction, Susie.
I love Walt, and I love his vision. It's there because it was Walt and it was his vision, but
hey, at least it's not under new management, okay? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Where they had Iago and Zazu? It was awful.
Didn't do it. I heard it was, I don't know. I don't even like birds anyway.
Anyway,
I stand by my statement.
The Tiki Room is classic, and it is the very first animatronics that Walt created.
I know.
It is near and dear to my heart.
It's special, but people
The
in
Sherman
general
Brothers,
don't
the tune. Come on.
go on it.
Nothing better than having a Dole Whip sitting in the Tiki Room. That's just my opinion. Anyway, so yes, the Tiki Room is part of the treat trail, and you actually go inside, so they don't run any shows, but the birds are moving around and like there's music playing, so it's just kind of cool. So I like that. Now, and I love this about the party, the allergy-friendly options for the kids who have nut allergies or dairy allergies. When you go into the Magic Kingdom, when you first come in, you can go over to the Main Street Theater, and this is their allergy-friendly center for the evening, and you can pick up a teal bag. So the teal is the official color for allergy awareness. The teal bag is what cast members look for, and then when they see that, when you actually go to the treat trail stations, they will give you a token that you can then, at the end of the night or whenever you want that night, typically if you're going around to all the treat stations and you just collect all the tokens, just go at the end of the night and go back to the allergy-friendly center and redeem those, and then they will give you allergen-free goodies for your kids. So
that's a great, I mean, obviously it's a great idea that, they're including kids who can't eat other treats, but I love that they have it in a separate location just to be even more careful of human error. Like a cast member is not going to grab the wrong packet of candy for your kid. There's going to be no mistake. That's very smart.
They've
and I'm
taken
sure
a lot of steps into ensuring that.
Thought went into that. Yeah. Kudos.
So also some other snacks that you can get during the event. There are going to be some specially themed snacks and desserts around the Magic Kingdom. You can find them at the Main Street Bakery, Aloha Isle, Storybook Treats, Auntie Gravity's Galactic Goodies. So each location is going to have something different and something themed specifically for the party that you cannot get any other day of the year. So if you come back to the Magic Kingdom during the daytime or the nighttime when the party is not happening, you won't be able to find these. So last year They had some tarts that were themed to the Haunted Mansion and the
Hmm.
stretching portraits. Those were awesome,
Oh, so you of course had to get one.
of course. And they were different ones. They had like 4 or 5 of them, I think. Like one of them was like a peanut butter one, and then they had one that was like a raspberry one. It was really good. And then they had, I know Auntie Gravity's had like a candy corn soft serve.
Okay. I actually like candy corn.
And we know how
I
much
think,
you like soft serve,
and I
so
love ice cream. Candy corn is such a divisive food. I like it. I'm just trying to think of those two things together, and I'm like, okay, I would try it.
yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And then, of course, you're going to have, especially at the Main Street Bakery, they're going to have, Rice Krispie treats that
Oh
have,
yeah.
fun designs and stuff on them. So be sure to check all of those out. In addition to the snacks, there's going to be some special merchandise for the event. So there's going to be a magic band, there's going to be some pins, t-shirts. So if you are a Disney merch collector, be sure to go get those because I'm sure they're going to be really popular. Um, Now, let's move on to the events of the evening. So there are really 3 big kind of show pieces that happen during the evening in the park. I'd say the first one to look forward to is the Boo to You Halloween Parade.
That's cute.
Yep. The song's actually really catchy too. But so the parade happens twice. It's at 9:15 and 11:15. So the first parade is definitely the most crowded.
Right. Everyone wanting to
Everybody out
get
wanting
out
to
once they get their
see it.
candy
Yep.
and see that and then go home.
Yep. Because a lot of people do leave later in the evening. A lot of people don't stay until midnight. So there's one at 9:15, one at 11:15, and that first parade is going to be the most packed. So if you're looking for a good spot, be sure to get to your spot early. Uh, you know, there are people camping out 45 minutes ahead of time. So spots along Main Street, around the hub, even like directly in front of the flagpole in the Magic Kingdom, that'll give you a straight shot down the street. And if you're looking for kind of a less crowded area, go to Frontierland. So the parade does go through Frontierland, and you should be able to snag a spot last minute if that is where you wind up.
People always forget parades always, starting or stopping in Frontierland. Everyone wants to get the great pictures on Main Street, but it's always a little less crowded in that area. Good tip, Matt.
Oh, thank you. So
You're welcome.
you learn from going a few times. So
Yeah, we kind of got that figured out. And I love this next note because now all I can think about is the like old Sleepy Hollow movie. I think I had it on VHS with like a couple of other like little
uh-huh.
short the cartoons with the
Yep.
Ichabod Crane with the red hair and the oh my gosh, like 1999 flashbacks or whatever. But the Headless Horseman leads the parade.
Yes, he starts everything off, and it is so cool seeing that horse gallop through the streets with the Headless Horseman in the saddle. So really, really fun piece to that parade. And then followed by him, you have all of the character floats. Typically, you're going to have Peter Pan, Pirates of the Caribbean. I personally love the Haunted Mansion float that they have. So
Really? I'm just kidding.
they have the Gravediggers that come out before the float. So they're like all in sync, and they have choreographed everything. So they have shovels and they dance with them. Then you have the ballroom dancers from the actual ride itself that do their dance routine, and then of course the hitchhiking ghosts on top of the float itself. So that's a fun float.
Real quick, do you have a favorite hitchhiking ghost? Like at the end of the ride, you're like, I want this ghost in my little doom
Uh,
buggy. I
I
like the one
don't.
that's kind of chubby and he's like his shoulders are all up like this. He just looks like a happy ghost. If I had to have one of the ghosts
Well, they're all
actually go
happy.
home with
They're
me, it'd be that one.
999 happy haunts.
I mean,
Well, except
I
for maybe
guess
that guy in the coffin. He doesn't seem to be too happy.
no, poor guy. I mean, got nailed in the coffin. But yeah, I like the one
Yeah.
in his shoulders and He just kind of looks like a little, kind of looks like a, I don't know. He looks silly. That's my favorite of the Hitchhiking Ghost. He just looks like a nice guy. I don't know.
Perhaps you should be friends.
I think we'd be great friends.
You know, there's always room for one more.
That was really good. That's
I
from
do what
the
I can.
ride. Look at you.
I love me some Haunted Mansion.
Oh, we're on it tonight.
I mean, I wasn't. The costume was Haunted Mansion last time, so
yeah.
no.
Anyway.
So we go from one great float to one that's not great. Sorry, it's just my opinion. I have no idea why Clarabelle is in this parade, but she is.
Why is she anywhere?
So if you're a fan of Clarabelle, I apologize, but she is in the parade. She has a float. And then last year they had a Wreck-It Ralph float. And then the big float at the end is the Disney Villains float. So you're going to have Maleficent, the Evil Queen from Snow White, Cruella de Vil, the Queen of Hearts, Jafar. All of these villains either like dancing around the float before it comes down. And then the float itself last year had the Evil Queen and Maleficent on it. So yeah, really, really fun parade. So lots of photo opportunities for that one for sure. Then moving on to the next big event for the evening, it is the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular. This shows 3 times during the evening. The first one is at 8:15. The second show is at 10:45. And then the very last show of the evening is right at 12 a.m. So it's hosted by the Sanderson sisters, who are the stars of the movie Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, yeah.
Have you seen Hocus Pocus, Susie?
Of course I've seen Hocus Pocus, Matt. What do I look like? Someone who hasn't seen Hocus Pocus? I don't know what that would look like. I don't know
either. No.
But I have not seen this show. Oh, I have seen this show like secondhand.
Video.
It's such a, it's
Like,
one of those
yeah.
movies that just kind of gets drug out at certain times of the year, and it fits this, and it's so exciting to see it get some recognition.
Well, like most shows that you watch on YouTube, they don't do it justice. They don't, seeing it live is spectacular.
Well, it is called the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular, so
true.
my
And
expectations are high.
it is aptly named, for sure. Oh. No, but they pulled some really great vocal talents for this show, especially Winifred and Mary and Sarah. Mm-hmm. The vocalists are awesome, and so there's going to be musical numbers with them. Then they actually have some other Disney villains from other movies, like Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog, Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, Maleficent, the Evil Queen, Hades, Cruella, Hook, Jafar, and Lady Tremaine from Cinderella.
I love Hades. I think he is so funny. Hercules, get enough recognition. Side note, I won't go off on that tangent.
Yeah, that is a very underrated Disney movie.
Now, do you consider Nightmare Before Christmas then to be it's a Halloween movie? It's not a Christmas movie?
I think it's both.
That's the political answer.
Well, I mean, it takes place during both, so why not?
I know. Well,
I watch it. I watch it twice a year.
Deeply held conviction of it's this movie.
Nope. Okay. I like it. I think it fits both. Yep.
Watch as many times as you want then if you get to look at it that way.
Yep. So the Hocus Pocus show takes place on the castle forecourt stage in Cinderella's castle. So really great viewing down Main Street. But, you kind of want to be up close. So, but it has fireworks, it has music, it has lasers, smoke effects, all sorts of fun stuff. But it is a really great show. And then, of course, it ends with I'll put a spell on you for the finale. And it is awesome. So, if you don't want it spoiled, go see it yourself. But check it out on YouTube if you really don't care, because it is a great show. And then the big thing during the evening, of course, is the Happy Hallowishes fireworks show. And this takes place one time during the evening, just once.
I was going to say, you've got to plan your showings of everything else very carefully with getting a good spot for what you want to see. but also for Hallowishes.
Yeah, Hallowishes, the show is at 10:15, and there are people who literally start waiting in their spot 2 hours before. So you just got to take that into consideration. You're going to have really great viewing pretty much all down Main Street, but, and we've talked about this in the past, but my favorite viewing spot is basically anywhere from Casey's Corner up to the partner statue, because I think that's where you can both get everything that's projected onto the castle and get the fireworks effects. So, and then this is a very special fireworks show during the year because it is perimeter fireworks. So you get the full 180-degree spread of fireworks throughout the show.
Sweet.
Also, new for this year is the Hallowishes dessert party. If you have ever done the Happily Ever After dessert party, this is basically the exact same party, probably going to be some different desserts. And then for those of you who haven't done it, what this is, it is a ticketed event. It's a little upcharge. It takes place at the Tomorrowland Terrace, so you're going to have some desserts. You're going to have chocolate-covered strawberries, cupcakes, ice cream, and then there's going to be exclusive pastries designed by the fabulous pastry chefs in the Magic Kingdom that are themed to the event. So these are not going to be the same ones that they have during the regular showings of Happily Ever After. It's going to be a little different. Then they're going to have specialty drinks, signature lemonade, then coffee, tea, and hot chocolate. So after you have your desserts, then you're going to be escorted into a private viewing area in the Plaza Garden. And there you will be able to have your reserved viewing space for the Hallowishes fireworks show. Now, just in case that there is rain and they do have to cancel the Hallowishes show, hopefully that won't happen, but, it is Florida.
True.
We're still in August, September, hurricane season.
You still never really know.
You never know, but if they do cancel the Hallowishes fireworks show, this will still take place, rain or shine. They will have the event. It will still be underneath the covered area in the Tomorrowland Terrace, and you'll be able to enjoy the party. The party cost is $69 plus tax for ages 10 and up, and then children ages 3 to 9 are $41 plus tax. And then, of course, under 3 are free, just like coming into the park. So, moving on from the shows, we go to another really popular thing, and that's the character meet and greets. So, I know a lot of people are like, wait, what? Character meets?
What?
What makes those so special as from, just doing it any day in the park? Well, my friends, there are some pretty rare characters that you can have a meet and greet with during this event. First and foremost, Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. They are super popular. Sometimes the line for those can be as long as 2 hours. So
Goodness.
We'll get to some last minute tips and tricks for everything, and I'll mention my tip for that. But
I was gonna say, because everyone's gonna want to meet Jack and Sally, so
yeah, really everyone does want
only
to meet
those
Jack and
insiders
Sally.
listening to our podcast are gonna get the inside scoop.
Mm-hmm. And last year they actually had a Moana meet and greet that was super popular. I mean,
love
really popular.
It's like it's a person.
Yes, it is
Moana, right?
it is
It's
a
not like
face character.
Okay, cool. I love Moana.
Cruella de Vil. Last year they also had Lotso Huggin' Bear.
Did he smell like strawberries?
I did not go see Lotso. I just know he was there.
Okay.
The Seven Dwarfs
Oh, it would.
come out during this event. And then Ariel and Eric were also out. And then the Queen of Hearts and Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So, you're getting characters that you don't typically see every day.
Yeah, that's really special.
Yep. So the key is to get in line early, for sure. So, speaking of other characters around the park, so I have a special place in my heart for the Dapper Dans. They are phenomenal. They are the barbershop quartet that sings on Main Street. So for this event, they turned from the Dapper Dans into the Cadaver Dans. So they have, ghostly makeup, pale colors and
Yeah.
blues and purples, and they are very much dead. And they're all kind of Western themed. So, like, they have, one's dressed kind of like a cowboy. One of them is dressed kind of like a cavalryman from the U.S., like Custer.
Sure.
Poor guy actually has an axe stuck in his head.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
But it's funny. It's silly. So they're not scary. They're just silly. And instead of singing their normal barbershop songs, they will actually sing kind of quote unquote spooky songs. Like Cruella de Vil or Grim Grinning Ghosts. They sing the Oogie Boogie song. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So, yeah, really great repertoire that they have for that. So that is a big highlight for me when I go down. And there are...
Wait, where can we
yes.
find them? You said they're dressed like
Yes,
cowboys.
So they're cowboys. So they are in Frontierland.
Okay.
So
Kind of what I was thinking.
they will come out periodically throughout the evening, and they should have some times on your guide map when you come into the park. Then we have some dance parties for the kids. First, we have the Screamoween dance party.
I really want to meet the person who came up with these names, the Cadaver Dance, the Screamoween dance party, because I really want to do that when I grow up. I just want to make puns for Disney.
So this one takes place in Tomorrowland, and it is a Monsters, Inc. themed dance party. So Mike and Sully are going to be coming out, and then you have a DJ. So that's fun for kids. And then new this year, there's actually another dance party. It's over at Storybook Circus, and it's the Disney Junior Jam. So these are for the really little tykes in your family. So they're going to have Disney Junior characters featuring Doc McStuffins. So
Cool.
yeah,
Good.
that's going to be fun for...
Jamming with Doc McStuffins.
Mm-hmm. What a life. What a party.
Right?
So yeah,
I'm going to hang out there.
I think that's going to be super popular for the party for sure. Now, I know a lot of people ask, are there attractions open? Can you ride rides? Why, yes, you can. Most of the attractions and rides in the Magic Kingdom are going to be open for this event. Some notable exclusions for this year are Big Thunder Mountain, Enchanted Tales with Belle, Mickey's PhilharMagic, the Jungle Cruise, and Carousel of Progress. Did not see those on the list of featured attractions for the event, so those look to be closed. But be sure to take that with a grain of salt. This list is subject to change at any point. Disney can change their mind and open something or close something. So just be aware of that. But there are some special things going on this year. Every year they usually release a special card just for the Halloween party. So you'll only be able to get this during the Halloween party, and it's for the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom game that you can play around the park. So if you go over to the fire station where Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom kind of starts, you'll be able to get your very own Orange Bird exclusive card for the event this year. So little Orange Bird love. Can't have enough of the Orange Bird. So
yeah. It just seems a little random.
What? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he has maybe he's wearing a costume too.
So yeah, I just pulled up the picture of it. So he's doodling on some oranges and like drawing
like jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I like that a lot. That's cute.
They're juice-o'-lanterns.
I was hoping it'd be juice-o'-lantern.
I mean, that's what the card says. So
I was hoping it'd be themed in some way.
I think that's pretty cool. So
yeah,
that'll be a fun card for you to collect, especially if you collect those cards. Then in actual rides this year, there are going to be 3 rides that are going to have some nice little upgrades. So I'm really excited to see what these are and how they, take into effect for everything. So the first one is the Mad Tea Party. there's going to be special lighting and effects in the ride. So basically,
Okay.
I think that just means black lights.
Okay. That's so cool.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. So if you're wearing different, like certain fabric, it might change your costume. Might little glow in the dark there for a little bit.
Sweet. I would be most intrigued about this next one.
So Space Mountain is going to have a new soundtrack for the ride. So instead of the
In between screams,
yep,
I'll be able to hear this.
yep. So don't know exactly what they're going to be playing, but it will have a very special Halloween soundtrack for the party. And then I think the most intriguing one to me is this next one. Pirates of the Caribbean is going to have some interactive elements within the ride, apparently during the party. And they promote it as new pirates interacting with guests. So I am taking that as there are going to be actual live actors dressed as pirates inside the ride.
You know what would be really funny is that like they're dressed like the animatronic character that's there, and then anyone who's ridden the ride is just like, oh, there's the guy doing whatever, except boom, like he moves or he says something, and now it's a person. And
Kind of
that
like
would
what
scare
they
me.
did with Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp over in Disneyland when he,
Well, it's that last part over in Disneyland.
Disneyland.
We're
did
not
that.
bitter or anything.
Yeah. So these characters are going to be interacting with guests on the ride, and you're going to be looking for a pirate named Gunpowder Pete. So only time will tell what that actually means, but sounds like a really unique and intriguing addition to the ride. So we'll see.
So we can't survive off of candy. We probably could for a little while.
And, and snacks
candy
and
and
ice cream
dessert parties, ice cream, we all know, I think me and you could survive for an extensive period of time off of ice cream and Dole Whip, based off of all of our ice cream conversations. But when we actually need actual food, like what do you do at the Halloween party?
Yeah, they're actually opening up some dining options this year. So you're going to be able to make advanced dining reservations for 3 restaurants in the Magic Kingdom: Be Our Guest, Cinderella's Royal Table, and Crystal Palace. So, knee-jerk reaction to this is, why would I ever want to do that?
Okay.
I mean, you're paying so much for the ticket.
Why would you also?
Sit down and
Yeah.
blow an hour and a half in a
Okay.
restaurant. But I mean, that's just me. And on top of that, Be Our Guest and Cinderella's Royal Table are not cheap. I mean, these are going to be some of the most expensive meals available. But, Crystal Palace is definitely the cheapest option of the 3. But those reservations are going to be from 6 until 9:30.
So you could potentially eat before the Halloween party starts.
Oh, for sure.
So you can make
and
it
you're still
work
going to be able
somehow.
to get food. So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just the table services that are going to be open for that are going to be those 3. So, once again, Be Our Guest, Cinderella's Royal Table, and the Crystal Palace. Also, a big feature for the park is the special things that they do for PhotoPass. So, in various locations throughout the park, you're going to be able to have your photo taken, and there are going to be special magic shots throughout the park. So if you are unfamiliar with what a magic shot is, if you have been to any of the parks and the PhotoPass person that's taking your picture asks you to like hold out your hand or
Yeah.
point up in the sky.
They're
and
not just making you look weird. So people walk by and like, what are they looking at?
So,
Their magic shot.
that's where they put in like Tinkerbell or Figment or Pumbaa or some Disney character that is going to magically appear in your shot. There are going to be some special ones for this event. I know that they had the Headless Horseman for one last year, which looked really cool. over.
The Hitchhiking Ghosts
Yep,
too.
Haunted Mansion. That's usually a spot. So just be on the lookout for those Photo Pass employees with their cameras and see what that magic shot is once they take your photo. So, well,
Wow, that's a lot to take
that
in.
is a lot to take in.
I
So,
like how we started off with the like, here's how much it costs, and here's the, so you're like, but by the end, it's like, oh my gosh, all the different special things that you get that aren't available. It's not that the lines are longer or whatever, like maybe some other events. You can't see these things or experience these things at all any other time of year.
yeah, it is a very unique event and it's totally worth doing, especially if you've never done it. So, it's a great experience for kids and adults. So, I think we're going to hit some last minute tips. So, we've gone through everything. My tips for people coming to the party: one, arrive as early as possible. So get in at 4 o'clock, as close to 4 o'clock as you can, and ride the rides that you want to ride. So, with the exception of the special ones that they're going to be doing, like Space Mountain, the Teacups, and Pirates of the Caribbean, go do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or go do the Jungle Cruise, especially since it's closed. Big Thunder Mountain, go ride that. Splash Mountain is going to be open for the event. So go ride the rides that you want to, if you want to, and just kind of get those out of the way. And if you want to do the special rides for the evening, go as close to opening as possible around 7 o'clock. So basically, this tip list is focus on what you want to do. What is your priority? Are rides your priority? Are characters your priority? Are the shows your priority?
Is the candy your priority?
Yes. So, I mean, because there are sometimes lines for the candy trail as well in
Yeah.
some spots. So, but typically not, definitely not as long as some of those character meet and greets. If characters are important, get in line early. So, like I said before, the Jack and Sally character meet and greet can sometimes get as long as 2 hours. I mean, it's really, really long wait. My recommendation: if you get into the park at 4 and you really want to do that meet and greet, go straight there where they're going to meet. And usually they're over in the gazebo between the hub and
Liberty Square.
Liberty Square. And that's usually where they are. And just kind of like hang out there and wait for them to come out. And then you'll
Get
be one of the,
comfortable.
one of the first people in line. So that'll save you some time. Oh, going back to the rides real quick. So there are no fast passes during this event. So that is another key thing to take into consideration. You will have a standby wait for every ride, but typically the ride wait times are very, very minimal. And then going to the shows, if the fireworks are important to you, get your spot early. There's only one show. People start waiting like 2 hours for the best spots. So if that's your priority, get in your spot and just camp out. Same thing with the parades. That first parade is going to be the most busy. Then the second one will be a little less. So maybe consider going to that second parade. And then, of course, the same thing with the Hocus Pocus show. We did the midnight show, and there was like not a lot of people there. So,
Yeah.
but it was just
I
as
would think
good.
that would be the-
And I got a good spot up front at the stage. Got some really good photos. So, yeah, super enjoyable. And if you're planning to be in the park that late, that's a good time to go see that show. Here's a tip for costumes: make your costume as light as possible. And when I mean light, I mean like fabric.
Yes.
So last year I almost died.
Aw.
Yeah, it was real bad.
Sacrifices for Haunted Mansion.
It was real
It's
bad.
still Florida. Like, even if you go in October, you're not guaranteed to, have a day when it's cool. I mentioned this very early on. Like, the 4 days that we get of fall may not fall.
Yeah, we
fall. during the Halloween party. So
We went the weekend of my birthday in September, and it was blazing hot even at night. I mean, it was like in the 80s still.
super humid.
So
Yeah.
I almost died in my wool coat.
Which, we wouldn't want you to die, but if you had died like Haunted Mansion, like
Hopefully, they would have accepted me as one of their
they
own.
they may have accepted you.
I was taking one for the team.
Already dressed for the part, why not?
Exactly. It's replaced me in the painting. Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's my tip. Dress light as possible. Disney bounding is a perfectly acceptable way to do that, but people do some really elaborate costumes, and that's fine too. So
Maybe you bring a little change of clothes after you take a picture with a character
Maybe,
or
yeah.
somewhere.
there was a guy last year. It was really great. He was older. He and his wife came, and they were dressed as Triton and Ursula, and he
Oh
had
gosh.
and he had like one of the like muscle suits.
Oh my gosh.
It was so great.
That guy probably passed out 15 minutes later.
Yeah, it was funny. Anyway, light costumes, and then take advantage of those discounted advance tickets. So remember, you save $10 by booking in advance, and then that saves you from having to pay the full price at the gate. And then, of course, book your vacation now. So there's still plenty of time. This goes all the way through October 31st, so there are going to be plenty of nights that you can come and experience Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And of course, I am here to help you with those bookings as well. So if you have not made your vacation plans, I'd be more than happy to get you set up for those and get your tickets all worked out, get your dining reservations and fast pass selections for earlier in the day kind of knocked out, and then have you all prepared for the party. So once again, my email that you can contact me at is matt@imagineerspodcast.com. And I think that's going to do it for us today. So if you have liked the podcast, be sure to go subscribe so you can get those automatic updates, and our show just automatically downloads to your Apple iTunes or your Google Play or Stitcher or whatever podcast.
Whatever the kids are using these days.
Right. So, and then in addition to that, if go follow us and like us on social media. We are on Facebook and Twitter. That's where we post all of the links for our shows and any news that comes out that we want to share with you all. So go and follow us on social media. And so I think that is going to do it for us this week. We hope this show has been beneficial for you in planning your trip to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And if you haven't done it, why aren't you? It's so much fun. So get out there. Get your tickets. Get your costume ready.
Get that treat bag.
Get that treat bag. Get ready
Big
for
ol',
some
like
chocolate.
50-gallon trash bag.
Hey,
Stock up.
so
Sugar high.
stock up, man. So
Take your kids' candy. Borrow your kids' candy.
borrow. That's a rich word. So anyway, it is a great time, and we have had a great time talking about it with you. So thank you again for listening, and until next time, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.